Hello and welcome to a rapid reaction to the last domino in the 2025 WNBA coaching search. Shams, I'm Greer. Shawnee's joining us on mobile, and we're here to react to the Liberty finally hiring a coach. What is it now? A couple months after parting ways with Sandy Brondello.
And then a couple months after getting bounced in the first round, after getting a sham of a title. Sorry, y'all. Like, I'm trying to be tranquil. It's out here being scenic and whatnot, but like my ops are in the news, so I was like, let me lock in for a second. But I'm sorry, Greer. Go ahead.
No worries. You know, the news is being broken by shams, right? And so he says here, I mean, hey, am I lying? All right. So the Liberty have hired a long time Golden State Warriors assistant, Chris DeMarco. And yeah, he's going to be finalizing his deal in the coming hours, and will be officially announced as head coach of the Liberty probably sometime next week. But yeah, let's just get into our quick reactions, because again, I think we were not entirely surprised that Sandy and the Liberty parted ways, but kind of like, what more are you looking for, right? And there was a lot said in the exit interviews by Jonathan Cole, who is the general manager of the New York Liberty, about the new direction that the franchise wanted to take, right? They wanted to, he didn't say this, but you can kind of read the tea leaves. I think he wanted to get younger, right? And truly build a foundation, right? With the new coach, someone who he could see being in the position for a very long time. And so Chris DeMarco is only 40 years old. So that checks one box. And then I think he also remarked that, he wanted to have a real identity, right? With the new coach. Don't know if we're ticking that box yet. But let's get into a little bit of Chris's background, right? Like I said, he's the longtime Warriors assistant. He's actually came to the Warriors staff as a part of Mark Jackson's staff. So even pre all this Warriors success, right? Which I find fascinating. Came in as a video coordinator, an intern, and worked his way up. Has coached them in G League before. But so experience, no question, right? Like, obviously the Warriors have won 4 championships in that time, and he's been on the coaching staff for every single championship. So we're talking about the pre-Durant years, the Durant years, and now, right, this third phase of the Warriors, right? Let's say even like the post-Clay era, right? And Jordan Poole was a big part in his development. So definitely has like the developmental chops. I don't know that's where the Liberty are currently, though, right? Like,
right.
So they go ahead.
No, because it goes to your point about like, what are we doing here? Sandy, I do feel like underachieved, and I do feel like, we've said it before, she has the tendency to do less with more. And so, yeah, you got to fix that. But like, how much of that was her fault, right? Because if Sabrina's being tagged as the franchise player and you got to cater to her to an extent, and this isn't even hate, this is like, what happens here? Was it Jonquel's fault that she wasn't consistently locked in, or was it, higher up saying like, we got to go, this is how we got to play, this is what we got to do, and Sandy was just doing what she was told? Or, was it really that's kind of the questions that we have to ask and get answers to before I can really assess this, because I'm kind of like, what identity is he bringing in? If he's a developmental coach, Jordan Poole looked great when he was playing in front of the baddies, but like, what element of that are we bringing to New York? You know what I'm saying? Because again, you got fully grown people. So is he going to be able to light that fire under JJ and get her to play like an MVP night in and night out and really like be the focal point that she can be? But then if that's the case, then what? And this is a serious question, like, what becomes of Sabrina? Because you got to get her touches and stuff. She's not, me and Andrew have argued about this relentlessly, she's not a true point guard. She's a 2 guard. So you got to set her up. Stewie is Stewie, and people feel like they're starting to play on her name and just her legacy. So it's like, she's got to like stand and deliver and show some people. Otherwise, we got to have conversations about Gino. But it turns into, can he manage all of this? Because you couldn't
Will he
manage
even have to? We don't even know what's going to
well,
happen, right, with this roster. And is this move saying something about what you envision your roster being in the future?
yeah,
Right?
and that's also a thing because maybe Sabrina goes to Oakland. Like maybe that was a trade off. We give you a new coach, you give us Sabrina, and she'll be playing for the Valks, and and that's how it's gonna be. And JJ's gonna stay overseas, like get ready to learn Saudi Arabian permanently. And maybe
Arabic, you mean?
Arabic.
Okay, so I do want to go back to Chris's background because, like I said, long time Warriors assistant.
Mm-hmm.
I think even like being able to keep your job during the Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr transition says a lot.
Yeah,
because what was rumored to be happening out there at that time was like insane, right? So
Mark's
says a
a funny
lot.
guy.
Says a lot
Shout out
about
to
his ability to
Festus
like
Ezeli.
maintain relationships and still get people to buy into whatever it is that your skill set is, right? But what I do want to point out is that he has been the Bahamian national team head coach for the men. I don't know like how promising their squad is for what it's worth. I do know that they have quite a few NBA players like in their talent pool. But
yeah, my cousin Buddy Hield. Shout out to my Bahamian cousin Buddy Hield. Turn us up. Conk for this for everybody.
So has some first share experience, but when it comes to the Warriors, he's always been a behind the bench kind of guy. And Steve Kerr has always hired assistants who have a bit of a name outside of the Warriors. So I do find that interesting. I did mention that he coached the Warriors G League team back in, or not G League, Summer League team back in, I think it was 2017. So he's 40 years old. And like, we obviously have seen a trend of like young coaches getting looks earlier than they would have maybe like in decades past, right? I think of like a Will Hardy in Utah. I think of a Joe Mazzulla in Boston, right? And for Chris to not be a part of that group feels like something to me, right? Like, again,
right.
we don't want to get in the habit of like the WNBA being the place where like, if you can't
exactly
catch in the NBA, you come to the WNBA. You know what I mean? And that rubs me the wrong way a little bit if I'm just being totally honest, right? Like,
yeah.
if you're such hot shit, why didn't the 29 teams in the NBA come calling?
And my thing is, if it goes back again, what are we doing in New York? Because if you want somebody young that can develop, you fired Walt Hopkins before he really got the chance to really develop. He took them to the playoffs where it was just Sabrina and Benijah Laney, and Benijah dragging Sabrina around, thugging it out, and y'all still made it to the playoffs. Got bounced in the first round, but like so did this year. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that was a young coach to allow time to develop, because you give him John Quell and Stewie. If he did all of that with Benijah and Sabrina, Benijah coming off of a most improved campaign, and then Sabrina coming off like the ankle injury and her sophomore year and like taking all her lumps and whatnot. Who knows what he could have done with JJ and Stewie? You know what I'm saying? And Phoebich and Sloot and all of this. So it's like, you want a young coach to develop. Like, what, you had one. You want an experienced coach. You had one. So now, did you just really want an NBA coach? Did you just really, you wanted a man? You had one. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Johnny boy, I don't know what you're doing, big dog. It's a little confusing. So I'm, to your point about that in the NBA, like, that also confuses me. Like, is he a developmental guy? Is he an X's and O's guy? Like, I know he has the film background and da-da-da-da-da.
I think he had a range of experiences for the Warriors, for what it's worth.
Yeah, because it kind of sounds Spoelstra-esque, where you start in the film room grinding it out, and then you climb the ranks. So if that's the case, then yeah, it worked for Spo. But yeah, it just, will he want to stay if he has success in the WNBA? Because like you said, this isn't, you don't want this to be a revolving door or like some sort of like extended internship for everybody to go back to the NBA. And we saw what happened with referees this year where they're like, oh, I made it to the promised land after ruining our lives all summer. So I'm just, you know, I'm a little confused.
Yeah, as am I. Obviously we'll get introductory press conference in the next couple weeks, and so we'll have a reaction to that as well, probably on Ball Up Top. But that's it for us for now. We will be going live today after the massive doubleheader in women's college basketball. We got USC going to South Bend to take on Notre Dame, and then we've got a top 10 matchup in number 1 versus number 6, UConn versus Michigan, to close out the doubleheader. I know I'll be back for that. I think Tyler will as well. But yeah, stay tuned for everything else.
Depends on who loses.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. No Cap Space WBB for everything. Subscribe on the YouTube, hit that bell for notifications so you see all of our videos first. But yeah, that concludes this year's WNBA coaching search, and
we did it, Joe. Congratulations, everybody. We made it. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for not getting tired of our emergency videos. Look, I don't. Where was I? I was at the lake. I was at Walmart. I was at the gas station. Yeah. Like, that's it. Now I can sit still, I guess. I don't know.
Well, we can sit still until we got draft lottery on Sunday, and obviously more CBA talks and news and things and rumors to get through. So
it's a little more static. I'll plan around that. Yeah.
Yeah, we got stuff. All right, but thanks again for tuning in. And again, we'll be live again tonight after that big women's college basketball doubleheader.